At this session, we have quite lots of speakers. Now I'm giving the floor to Vladimir Koshylev, State Duma of the federal government and the chief in the construction and utilities. Head first deputy chairman of the Committee on Construction and Housing and Communal Services. Sorry, we will change a little in our schedule. I'm giving the floor to the head of the Federal Service for Accreditation, Mr. Nazary Skripnik. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm very glad to greet you all at the forum of the International Islam Community. Last year, we discussed the fact that it would have been so nice to launch the certification of halal products in Russia. And here, I want to inform you about our achievements for the last 3 or 4 years. So they are the following. In Russia, halal certification was achieved. And after that, we concluded the key agreement for us with the Center of Accreditation of Halal of the countries of Persian Bay. And we are very glad that the both heads of Ros Quality and GSC are here with us today. So we signed the agreement, which is recognized in the as halal certification, which is done by the Russian organization Ros Quality or Roskачество. And the products which are certified by this halal certificate are already exported abroad. At the moment, we are expecting increasing of standards of halal certification in Russia, and we succeeded to get this certification, of course, due to the efforts of our colleagues of Ros Quality organization and the heads, of course. On the 8th August of the last year, the president ordered to certify the organizations which are responsible for the hotels, and this was another success of us. And we know that accreditation is about trust. If you have 3 stars of the hotel, you have to get certification for 3 stars. If you have 5 stars, you have to get certification for the 5 stars. So, such as the system in the Russian Federation, we have over 200,000 hotels in Russia, and most of them have no certification of the stars, and just a few of them have halal certification. So how they succeeded to get the certification? This was a question for us, and despite we provide certification only for products, but now we decided to provide certification for hotels. And now I want to present you our plan. We've been developing ghosts for halal in tourism. Next, we want to apply certain changes in halal certification, and next year we plan to launch this system of certification all over Russia. In total, in the area of tourism, we provide certification of the hotels on the basis of the class. And we plan to organize electronic system where all the hotels will be included. So the hotels will download the data into this digital system, and the different registers they will provide the information about their activity, about the services they suggest to their customers. And this database will be available for other government organs. And also it will be available for the customers. So it will look like this with these feedbacks from the customers. This process is already regulated with marketplaces, with web pages, with aggregation systems. We will also make this data available for the customers. It is again about the trust and expectations. And on this page, the customer will see that the hotel corresponds to the halal system, to halal standards, and is halal certified. Here you see a prototype of this register of the hotels. It is called the Register of Classified Accommodation Facilities. So this is the digital passport of a facility. Here you see the certification halal friendly, and you will get all the required services. My opinion is that if we agree the standards in the countries locally, it will enhance and strengthen the halal certification in different countries. You know, in different countries there are different requirements for halal. Some say that the system should be unified and the standards should be unified. We have passed through it already. We have solved all the questions regarding the products, food products. And now we plan to implement the halal certification into the hotels area. First of all, that the tourists who require halal services will see it on the web page of the hotels. So this is all I wanted to say. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. What I want to notice, it is indeed a new story for us. It is very important to have trust. It is very important that the customers trust that you. How it's how you succeeded to make it. I can answer that if Russian accreditation company has around 17,000 of experts, but at that moment we didn't have experts in Islam. Therefore, we agreed with the Russian Islamic Institute, which allowed us to prepare the system, and who participate, these experts participate in this accreditation system. And I think that regarding the hotel area, we should continue in the same way. Okay, let's give the floor to our next speaker. First Deputy Chairman of the Committee on the Construction and Housing and Communal Services.
We can hear you well. Please start. Can you hear me? Yes, we do. We hear you. Please proceed. Well, what can I say? Obviously, the topic of halal tourism, it is not only a religious type of tourism. This is tourism that respects the religion of the tourists visiting our country. And inside the country, we have a large demand. We have about 20 million of Muslims living in Russia. And if we speak about other Muslim countries of the world, we will have a multifold number of people who comes to visit our sightseeings and enjoys staying in our country. When we are asked, what is the Russian world? Russian world means respect towards all religions. And when different ethnic groups live in a single space and treat each other with huge respect, their customs, their traditions. This is it, first of all. And there is a history of hospitality and accepting, tolerating people with their traditions and their religion. Today, we see there are some things to be changed. We need a unified approach to certification of this field of tourism. Once we have a single and unified approach, the business will also clearly see what companies can do step by step to make the tourist attractiveness meeting all the standards of halal business. And next, in every single region, we will need to implement some purpose-directed incentives and support to help all the business and develop the whole topic of halal tourism. Once again, this is a very important thing for openness of our country and respect to all the visitors, their religion, beliefs, and their traditions. That's why it is a necessary area to be developed. And these criteria must be developed by the Ministry of Energy and legally formalize it. The State Duma is ready for this. We are ready to cooperate in this field. Thank you. Thank you. It was brief and clear. Let us continue. I would like to give the floor to Maxim Protasov, head of the Russian Quality System This organization performs independent researches of the products. It evaluates the products that are sold in supermarkets and assigns the sign of quality to the best products. I remember once Mr. Protasov told me, I will work on it. We used to have a sign of quality in the Soviet Union, but I believe that Maxim has managed to introduce a new one. Thanks a lot. Indeed, I remember how we discussed the very beginning of all this initiative to revive the sign of quality and the national quality assessment system in various areas. I will do my best to be brief and to discuss system-wise all these issues of the development of tourism in terms of halal standards. Let me mention what we have today to address this task. First, we are basing on the existing centers of excellence. You know that Quality has many centers of excellence. I'm not sure if our foreign guests are aware of it. Russians do know it for sure. Concerning our competences, we have a national center of excellence in the field of halal created 2 years ago. Its head, Marat Nizamov, attends the session today. This Center of Excellence facilitates the development of the standards and the creation of certification in the country and training of experts, quality monitoring for halal goods and products, and of course, conducting education among consumers and promotion of our certificates worldwide. Another center of excellence for tourism was created recently. Today, it is dealing with providing consultancy to hotels and training specialists in the field of hotel management. They introduce the principles of business excellence in the tourist industry and also promote the best Russian hotels because our domestic tourism develops and we have ambitious goals. As you know, our president has set us a task to double our GDP in the field of tourism. It is impossible to complete this task without attracting foreign tourists, including the tourists from Muslim countries, and also without providing good services to Russian tourists. And how we do it in respect of halal tourism, which is our today's topic. There are two approaches. The first one is standardization and certification of accommodation facilities, hotels, against halal standards. And there is a SMIC standard. The head of SMIC also attends this meeting. There is a GSO standard. And the head of the Gulf Accreditation Center is here with us today. We have also the standards discussed today in the morning with our Malaysian colleagues, halal hospitality services standards. And this year, the program of national standardization in Russia includes the development of our national standards for tourist services. As of today, we have some quality standards that are being currently tested in some hotels and accommodation facilities to be certified. As of today, there are quite a lot of such facilities. We have certified them for both SMIC and our own standards, thus implementing the halal system when a certain hotel is fully certified against halal standards. What we did next? Next, we followed the second approach, which is introducing the Muslim-friendly standards. I'm glad to mention it that in Kazan we are implementing it together with our colleagues from the spiritual management of the Republic of Tatarstan and leading muftiyats of the country. Muslim-friendly is a system of gradual introduction of hotels and accommodation facilities to this area. A certain hotel may not undergo the whole halal certification, but if a Muslim approach the reception and states he wants to receive a high level according to halal services, he or she will be provided with a room and services fully satisfying halal standards. This will be applicable both to hotels and congresses and hospitals, congresses. There are a number of requirements to this, and these standards are now being tested in Russia in all territorial subdivisions of Roskачество. There are certain requirements to the content of the rooms, the food, the washing means. More than 30 systems existing in different countries of the world were used as a source for the standards. There is no need to explain the importance of this standardization for business. This is the extension of target audience. It is a way to show the openness for the possibility to host various tourists from Muslim countries. When speaking about the market, we shall mention several figures. The first one, from 9 to 11% of all global expenditures for travels, which are spent for halal tourism, which is a big figure. On the slide, you can see the number of halal hotels in the countries of OIC. We can analyze these figures to see the number of rooms and compare to the number of rooms that Russia will boast. And another criteria important for Muslim tourists are shown on this website, ranging from food to separated spa. And these are the standards necessary for a hotel to become a halal hotel. We have introduced a specific training in Roskачество. In Roskачество, we have an academy which is training in all the areas, including in hospitality as per halal standards, so that the personnel of restaurants and hotels and accommodation facilities could properly provide such a service. We have already started running such educational and training courses, and the personnel of many hotels and restaurants are learning. This is our perception of the development of this infrastructure. I did my best to explain all the aspects from standardization to education and training. I'm sure that this system is a must for us to complete the task set by our president in terms of the development of tourism. And we shall keep in mind, of course, the development of halal tourism. Thank you. Thank you. It was very informative and clear. And it is essential that we understand that Roskачество provides services on how to implement it properly, that there is an academy within the Rosquality perimeter, which gives us a hint in understanding how it works. Thanks a lot. The Institute of Standardization and Metrology of the OIC. I would like to give the floor to Ihsan Ovut, Secretary General of SMIC, with his presentation.
Welcome everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I don't know.
Do you have a presentation?
Okay.
I guess you have.
I saw my presentation in several meetings, but I didn't guess you are here. Okay, thank you very much. Before the continue my presentation, I want to thank the Russian Federation and Kazan Forum for inviting us to these important activities. Because, only last year I was not here, but nearly 7 years I'm attending. Every year is more growing, and inshallah is we sport activity, one of the strong activity in the future. The just second issues, the terminology we have to see that we have to not mix some terminology, halal tourism and Muslim-friendly tourism, because we are meaning same things. If you say Muslim-friendly, also we say halal, because as a Muslim, when we travel any places, for example, hygiene, cleaning, and ablution is very important for the Muslims, but we cannot use any facility in the world, in the hotel, for this issue. It's very important, like human rights. Everybody should respect the Muslim, because if you are not clean, you cannot pray, you cannot travel, you cannot also sleep also, because before sleep we have to have ablution, wudu. These are our rights. That reason we need one term, it is halal tourism, halalness, because halal for all religions have same meanings. When you go to Muslim friendly, only you want to concentrate on Muslim, but halal for all. For standards, standard issues are standard bodies activities, not activities of the certification bodies and accreditation bodies. They are implementing organizations, but on the table maybe not more about from standards bodies, but sectors can write this issue. I respect all speakers, but standards should be discussed among standards authorities and standard bodies with all stakeholders. In CIMIC, after a lot of hard work, finally there is the standards, namely halal tourism services, general requirements, has fatwa for all mazhabs from the OIC academies. After enrichment of this, we published, and then during this study, Fatwa Academy says don't use any religious name like Muslim friendly, etc., because we have to be more sensitive about the terminology. We have only issues halal tourism. Shortly look the CIMIC standards. I want to inform you. Standards include not only hotels or something, all related part of the halal tourism you can find the standards from hotels, from about guidance, etc., etc. But important issues here, we are defining the halal tourism services and bring a categorization for accommodation premises as per the halal tourism service. You can see in the annex of standards. Important issue, the rising awareness about halal. The standards was adopted by all our CIMIC members. There's a consensus on. It can be used by all partners, but we are doing standards not for CIMIC only. We are doing our standards for OIC territory. For all OIC, full member observer members can use it. We are also the mandate by the OIC for different standardization, and this one of them is Islamic tourism. There is a committee for these issues in TC5, tourism and related issues, composed of members we can see in the screen. These standards published 2019. In standards, you can see the content about the many issues related to standards. Because of the short time, I cannot go on all of. From the food, beverages, accommodation, facilities, tour services, tour package, grant, transfers, tourist guides, and management responsible of the organization, personnel who will be active in the system, and other issues. And at Annex, there will be Annex A and B. One is very important because normative. You can see here categories. Scope is clear. It can be used, these standards for all type touristic areas. There are two references, OSMIC 1 and 4. One is for general requirements for halal food. It's generic standards for all type foods and food places. This standard can be used. Which part of the standards you need, you can use it. Your kitchen and service places, etc. The cosmetic from the cosmetic in the hotels also can use it. About alcohol issues, alcohol in the products, etc. There are main standards. I will not go on the terminology, only shortly show you and back to classification. This is very important. When you talk about halal tourism and halal tourism, we are not looking at holy places, because holy places, mosque and other places, holy for praying. Just the hotel, other like our house, staying. In this place, you, as a Muslim or as anyone, you can find your right, drinking or sleeping time and then praying time, or answer your question. This is. If you look the hotel like them as very holy places, you cannot find any hotels. Not easy to find. That reason, we have three categories. One is advanced scale. The second, medium. There's a basic scale. This I will show you if there's in my presentation. Maybe organization can share my presentation with all. Here. My screen is small, but in the three categories, first, there is no anything against Muslim rights or non-halal issues. As we say, category A, from hygiene to praying place, everything will be have to be Sharia rules, Islamic tradition, Islamic rules, or as general terms, because Sharia means Islam in our terminology. Then the second group has a B group. Here, at the medium of the, in the hotel, part of hotel can be some non-halal part, but as a Muslim, they can stay it. They can find what they need, like praying place, like drinking non-alcohol place, or halal food, etc. But the C group is the last group. This is, like a hotel, a Muslim can stay, what they need, in the room only, not on the general hotel. All of them halal can be certified, but you have to mention it. This is in the certificate, according to CIMIC 9, category B. Yeah, it's not any between the scale for all them, but as a Muslim, at least you can stay. If there is nothing in the room, you cannot use, for example, as I said, ablution. You cannot use it. It cannot be halal. Ablution is very important. Other issues like alcoholic and cosmetic issues and cleanings, if there is no, this cannot be certified. This shortly about introduced standards. The standards, as I said, was adopted by consensus of all members, including from Malaysia to Pakistan, Turkey, Iran, our members from Africa and Bosnia, etc. Because before we have some standards for different countries, like Malaysian Muslim hospitality and another countries. We all harmonized, and then after the consensus, this standard. Now we are waiting certification bodies use it. In problem in halal, they want to be accredited first and then go to use it. This is the wrong method. At this, you have to start certification and then later go start the accreditation, because we need to see the implementation. Accreditation, not like authorization. Accreditation come to you, you are doing your job professionally, and according to standards. If you don't have any experience, how they will accredit you? That reason, the key organization here are certification bodies. They have to start. We have only one standard. No need this time to speak national standards or unified standards, because this is OIC standards for all OIC members. And this is voluntary issues. We cannot say this you have to do. We just advise if you need a standards, there is a standards. Shortly, the standards is this. Thank you very much for giving me time. If any question, I can answer. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Господин Навид, спасибо.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. Did you have experience of implementing of your halal standard in to other countries which are considered secular, in non-Islamic countries?
Countries cannot be Muslim. People can be Muslim. Brazil also, there are a lot of Muslims. India, Turkey, Russian Federation. Sometimes, for example, some OIC members have very, very minor Muslim, but they are OIC members, like Cameroon, other countries. They are not about more than 50, less than 50% of the country is Muslim. Since we don't have this strong accreditation authorities, we don't know which countries, because we are accreditation, we can see the concept of the certification bodies. Inshallah, in the future we'll see, but I know where is using in Bosnia, in Croatia I see, for example, if you say, some India I say, we saw, in Africa they are using, but the new standards, not easy give the halal logo hotel, because they have to change the system. If the category A, they have to renovate the hotel, because you have to separate the swimming pool, for example. We have to, sometimes double issue will start in the hotel. Category A is very difficult to change a normal hotel to a halal hotel. Maybe a new one is better to establish, but B and C is very easy, and any hotel can be certified. If you say non-Muslim countries, for me is we don't have any Muslim country. We have some OIC members, non-OIC members.
Спасибо, господин.
Thank you, Mr. Avut. I think we are in front of huge amount of work, and we will definitely use your help, ask for your help and your experience, and we will take into account all the possible mistakes that you have experienced. Yes, we will ask for your help when we want to implement these standards. And the customers and tourists must trust to these hotels. Thank you so much for your presentation and answers. So our next speaker is Mr. Nuruddin, Malaysian General Director of Institute of Standards and Art in Malaysia.
My name is Nizra Nordin, Director General of Islamic Tourism Center, an agency under the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture of Malaysia. I would like to express my gratitude to the organizer for giving me an opportunity to represent my country to all of you at the Kazan Expo today. It gives me great pleasure today to stand here before my peers to share a glimpse of Malaysia's journey and achievements, I would say some successes in attending to the much talked about Muslim tourist market. I believe that among the reasons we are all seated here in the audience today is to ignite our curiosity and interest in Islamic tourism and the Muslim tourist market. Therefore, I'm pleased to share a little bit about that. Some brief introduction to Islamic Tourism Center, or ITC. We were formed in 2009. Until today, ITC remains the only government-backed agency initiated for this purpose. Through research, training and standards development, networking collaborations, and consultancy services, ITC is committed to its key responsibility to assist the Ministry and the Malaysian Muslim-friendly tourism and hospitality ecosystem together with its partners in the public and private sectors. For over 15 years of its establishment, ITC has advocated its existence to work with governing bodies, destination and industry players in Malaysia and abroad to ensure that Muslims around the world can comfortably travel while meeting their faith-based needs. We are grateful that through collaboration and discussions with our partners who are industry experts in various sectors, ITC has successfully introduced 2 recognition programs in Malaysia, namely the Muslim-Friendly Tourism and Hospitality Assurance and Recognition, or MFAR, and Muslim-Friendly Tourist Guide, MFTG, as a guideline and stepping stone for businesses to tap into the sizable Muslim tourist market, which I could say played a part in Malaysia receiving nods and recognitions from our peers in the industry. Muslims and its 2 billion population make up the discerning Muslim tourist market. Experts reported that this market will contribute at least 230 million to global tourist arrivals count and 225 billion to tourism receipts, illustrating their growing experience. Surely Muslim tourists travel to escape their daily routine and eager for immersive experiences. For example, when traveling to Malaysia, they would like to explore various cultures by visiting our monumental mosques and other religious sites, participate in cultural activities, or just enjoy a quiet day by the beach. In setting global standards for Muslim-friendly assurance, if we could see on the screen, while we have on the far right the halal certification given by our Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, we all know by definition halal always relate to dietary requirements, which is what permissible under the Islamic laws. On the other hand, in ITC, on the far left, we promote the MFAR recognition program for hotels. Just to make it clear that some hotels, Malaysia is made up of 60% Muslims, about 63% Muslims, and the rest are non-Muslims. And some of our non-Muslim friends, or most of them actually, the hotels are actually owned by non-Muslims. And for us to impose on them, to tell them that their hotels have got to be halal, would mean that when we, Malaysia, welcome every 100 tourist arrival, only 20% actually Muslims. So for us, the positioning of MFAR is more receptive among the hotel owners in Malaysia, and we are fast gaining traction on this adoption, and we'd like to share with the audience today on this as well. And for Muslim-friendly tourist guide as well, we have about 3,000 licensed tourist guide in Malaysia, majority are non-Muslims, and promoting them to adopt Muslim-friendly tourist guide would mean that they would need to understand the needs of Muslims when Muslims travel. The MFA covers 10 areas in Muslim-friendly tourism hospitality, namely tourist accommodation premises, i.e. hotels, spa and wellness, and massage premises, travel management operating businesses, medical facilities, transportation hubs, tourism products, shopping centers, theme and entertainment parks, rest and recuperation areas, and trade and convention centers. Meanwhile, MFTG is a recognition initiated by ITC with the goal of improving licensed tourist guides' marketability to attract the Muslim tourist market. Although the Malaysian halal logo is issued by a different department in Malaysia, and the matters of halal does not fall under the purview of ITC, it is an integral part of MFTH and Malaysia's Islamic tourism experience. Due to Malaysia's Muslim-friendly environment, Malaysia has been consistently ranked at the top of the MasterCard Crescent Rating Global Muslim Travel Index, GMTI, for 8 times in a row since 2015, with the exception of year 2020 when there was COVID. The ranking looks at how welcoming a destination is for Muslims by analyzing several factors such as its ease of travel, accessibility, communications, environment, and product and service offerings. In addition, Malaysia was awarded 2 awards at the Halal in Travel 2023 Awards, for A, being the top Muslim-friendly destination of the year, and second, Muslim women-friendly destination of the year. Furthermore, Malaysia was also appointed to head the prestigious OIC's Mixed Standards on Halal Tourism classification for wellness spa, responsibility that we wholeheartedly, as a result, will eventually benefit all of our friends in the OIC nations too. Moving forward, Malaysia is leveraging on its established Islamic tourism ecosystem to serve Muslim pilgrims in this region by setting itself up as a regional Umrah hub in Southeast Asia, East Asia, Central Asia, Oceania, and not to forget Russia. Therefore, while we are here, I would like to invite interested parties to come up to us. Let's have a discussion on how Umrah hub aspiration can serve the interests of our people and our economy. In addition to that, I take note of some of the earlier speakers, Mr. Nazareth, Maxim, and Mr. Igor. We spoke about unifying the use of standards on halal tourism. In Malaysia, our findings from research that we have done, when hotel owners who are non-Muslims, they get a bit taken aback, or rather I like to use a blatant word, they get scared. If the moment we use the halal hotel, then we deny them of offering the majority of their tourists who are non-Muslims with things that they need. They need to wind down with alcoholic beverages and so on and so forth, and they would be worried if they bring in their partners who are probably not legally binding with them in marriage whatsoever. These issues would be a little bit counterproductive for some of these investments taken by the hotel investors. And when we use the Muslim-friendly hotels while adopting certain standards in consultation with OIC and Department Standards of Malaysia, it becomes more receptive among hotel players. I'm open to share the success of Malaysia implementing this MFAR guidelines for hotels, which would be more inclusive for the investing public, for the investors, regardless whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims, with the main intention of serving the needs of the Muslims, that they can continue to observe their faith-based needs. When they come to a hotel, at least there is one halal certified hotel. At least there are facilities that Muslims can continue to perform when they stay in that hotel. Issues of swimming pool, there could be a possibility of providing a dedicated hour for women or for family that could meet the overall needs of Muslim travelers. So with this, I would like to actually conclude my presentation. Thank you so much. There's so much more that I have to share with all of you here. My colleagues are here as well to share our experience. With that, I would like to thank you. In this, I would like to inform you that we are open to collaborations to adopt MFTH ecosystem with very, very minimal charge of consultation. But what we are more interested is that we could unify this approach so that we don't have fragmented recognition programs that would confuse so many tourists what do you mean by halal tourism and what is Muslim-friendly tourism, when many of our non-Muslim friends believe that halal always relate to dietary requirements. So what do you mean when it comes to a halal hotel? We want to avoid all this confusion, and moving forward, I think Maxim has got a tall order of having to double the tourist arrival into Malaysia. I also have a very tall order to attract more Muslims to come into Malaysia, which is already a Muslim majority country, but with investments by our non-Muslim friends in the tourism sector, we need to educate them that Islam is very welcoming. Islam is not imposing on non-Muslims, but we want to facilitate what matters for our Muslim brothers and sisters, that they can continue to observe their faith-based needs when they travel. With that, wabillahi taufiq, wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Спасибо, господин Нурудин. Действительно, там нам очень важно посмотреть и воспользоваться опытом различных стран, которые внедряли эти стандарты халяль, для того, чтобы не совершать ошибок и быстрее пройти путь внедрения. Сейчас хочу предоставить слово представителю.
And to expedite the process of introduction of halal standards. Well, we understand that digitalization is going on, and now I would like to give the floor to my colleague who will expand on this more. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Good afternoon, dear participants. Let me expand a bit on the plans of our company to enter the halal sector and the trends of the market development, both domestic and international. We all know that halal market is now growing, and in the structure of the global GDP, over 4 trillion will be the share of halal in the GDP in 2025. Together with halal sector, halal tourism sector is growing. In 2022, it was $250 million, and further on, it will grow to more than $300 million. Unfortunately, I could not find the dynamics for Russia, the statistics. But for certain reasons, this dynamics is ahead of the global dynamics. And the main problems of aggregators and other digital solutions representing tourist products is that tourists often have to seek some food areas and restaurants outside their tour, thus spending additional money. And then they will have to seek another places for praying, which means that in some countries where with a large number of hotels and restaurants providing halal services enjoy a larger number of tourists and tourist flows. These are the reasons why digital sector in halal sector does not develop today. To create something certain, we must understand the institutional rules of the game. I'm very glad to hear that in 2024 we expect to launch the classical market in the digital tourism is very convenient. And every year, Ostrovok is one of the best among the best in the world. So why don't we try to expand our access onto halal market as well? There are a lot of classic travel agents and aggregators such as Ostrovok, utravel.me. They are very convenient for choosing not only hotel, but for the whole range of tourist products, which is much larger than hotels only. I analyzed the first 5 search results from Yandex for halal search query, and everything has both pluses and minuses. But there is not a single option that a person, when opening the website, could clearly see the selection of hotels that are of interest to them. There is no such a possibility in the Russian segment. At the same time, when we see the problem under this angle, I've seen that Hajj and Umrah sector is much more developed than a classical halal tourism, which suggests us that a demand for the classic halal tourism is also takes place.
Также были изучены зарубежные.
I also analyzed foreign websites. Many of them have their audience, their applications. They have been on the market for a long time, have been existing on the market. But when declaring any country's halal standard, they do not clearly disclose information what exactly halal requirements are implemented, because we must clearly understand the degree of halalness of any certain tourist product for a person, a customer, to make a decision. On the left, you can see the diagram showing in the word start the number of queries for halal tours. You see it is a small number, about 300 per month, while for Hajj we see about 9,000. So we may think, we may come to the conclusion that all those who seek Hajj tours may be interested in halal tours as well. But due to the lack of the halal infrastructure, they don't even think of looking for halal solutions. It was already mentioned, and let me repeat it once again, that every 10 years, Russian domestic tourism grows twice, which contributes to the development of halal tourism as well, and we must be ready to this, since in this tourism, the share of Islamic population will grow as well. According to the Kommersant newspaper, by 2030, the percentage of Muslim citizens in the Russian society, in the Russian population, will grow. It is important to note here that since today, there is no operating infrastructure in halal tourism. For example, my colleague had to seek such solutions last week in the Instagram, which is banned in Russia, and in various social media, which is not secure to her. Maybe it violates your consumers' rights, but at the same time, she cannot take use of classical booking opportunities, options. Let me now share the new development, the new ecosystem. I want halal. This system includes 10 online services, including hotels and tours, which aggregates halal standardized hotels, tours, and other tourist products. We have implemented already the first 4 services, and therefore we want to already have the active involved audience. And when another button appears in the application, this audience will be enthusiastic to use this new option as well. This is a very complex way of building the infrastructure, digital infrastructure in the field of halal, but we must continue our efforts. Of course, the problem is that there is no universal certification system, and I was glad to hear that this year we will have a finalized certification system, and I hope it will be aligned with international halal certification standards. It is impossible that different regions and countries of the world have different halal standards, because halal roots to the same sacred book. My presentation is over. Thank you, and I wish you good luck on the forum. Thank you. Thank you, Anwar. And I believe as of today, digitalization is a part of our life. I understand that this is a very complex and difficult work, financially consuming. It is difficult to work with programmers who develop the application, and we will see how it progresses. Now we shall join our efforts to see how we can use your aggregator. I would like to give the word to Mr. Asylbek Ali, first Vice President of the Foundation of the Support of Tourism Development in Kyrgyzstan. Good afternoon, dear participants. Thank you for the floor given to me. First of all, on behalf of the Tourism Development Foundation Fund in the Kyrgyz Republic, I would like to thank you for the invitation to participate in this forum. Such events are very important for all stakeholders in the tourism industry. They facilitate integration between our countries and the development of multilateral relationships and development of tourism in the Kyrgyz Republic. Tourism is one of the priorities within our Republic's development program till 2026. As of today, we are aiming at the cluster approach to the development of tourism and creating favorable conditions for the development of tourism and attracting tourists. As everyone knows, we have many popular tourist destinations, such as Issyk-Kul Lake, opportunities for active recreation, for mountain climbers, alpinists, those who like active recreation activities. We have a mountain ski resorts. Halal tourism must meet the halal standards. At the same time, the Kyrgyz Republic is a secular government, so all the products, all the standards for products and services are regulated first of all by the general safety requirements. Halal must meet Muslim principles, combining the entirety of methods and ways to use the products in accordance with halal standards. Halal tourism is very popular in our country as well. In 2023, Kyrgyz Republic adopted the concept of the development of halal tourism. Halal tourism started developing in our republic recently, but it has already a big potential for development. There are already 6 existing standards in the field of halal tourism. Over the last 6 years, Kyrgyzstan has become one of among the top 30 countries in terms of the development of halal tourism, and ranks 25th in the rating of Global Muslim Travel Index, annually developed by Crescent Rating together with MasterCard. Totally, in the Global Muslim Travel Index, there are 130 states, and the criteria for inclusion on this list are comfort for recreation according to halal standards. The prospects of halal tourism in Kyrgyz Republic. Kyrgyz Republic is a segment of spiritual and religious tourism, along with the natural tourism and tourism along the Great Silk Way. It is a place where the first Muslim country in the Central Asia was founded. We have many natural sites and monuments. Another factor of tourism development is that we have many beautiful natural areas, marvelous landscapes, astonishing mountains, providing the tourists to enjoy some hiking, walks, horse riding. Halal tourism helps build a strong national economy, bringing additional revenues, transforms the image of the country, creates new jobs, attracts investors, and provides better possibilities for recreation for local Muslim tourists. Kyrgyzstan is a member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Currently, it is an influential Muslim international organization and the second largest organization globally after UN. In addition, let me expand on the infrastructural projects of the foundation implemented in our republic. These are such large projects as Three Tops, the construction of a skiing resort in our republic. The second one is Baitik Mountain Resort, and not far from Bishkek, a sports complex. And the third one, Tamga Sports Complex, near the Isikul Lake. The foundation also runs small and medium projects such as points of recreation that are aimed at creating conditions for tourists and helping to develop halal tourism. They provide some prayer rooms, etc. There are natural hiking trails in mountains. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. When there was a Soviet Union, there was nothing for halal. But today, your case is very useful to us because you have managed to achieve such a success within a short period of time. I hope we will cooperate further on. Now, I would like to give the floor to the Mr. Amelzani Matebu.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon. Good day for all of you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the government of Russia to invite us to attend this very important forum and to share our experience regarding to the standardization, regarding to our experience in the accreditation. Of course, and I'd like to stress thanking for the Russian Federation government to think about this very important issues and very important subject for us as Muslims, the halal issues. Today we are sitting here to think about the customer needs, which was known as the quality. We are talking about the quality. We have to know, in the basic, we have to know about the elements of the quality. We have to know what is the element of the quality. Of course, there is no quality without 4 issues. One of them, and very important issues, is the standardization. When we are thinking about the standardization or the standards or the rules that we start from, it's written by authorization bodies, it's documented paper or documented requirement written by authorization body like CIMIC, like ISO, like the GSO, like Russian standards. So there is a level of the standards. Sometimes it could be international, like the ISO standards or IEC standards. I know most of you know the ISO standard, International Standardization Organization, which is located in Geneva, but it's serving all the world. Okay, why we are thinking about the standardization in the beginning? Usually I'm giving this clear example. You know the plug or the socket? Nowadays there is a differences between the shape of the plug and socket. When we are traveling around the world, we are facing some difficulty or some differences in the standards. Our shape is like third, what is called English shape. In Russia, there is another shape, and there is. Imagine this in the Islamic standard or the Muslims' needs. So there is a differences. So this is the importance of the standardization. Right one standards acceptable around the world. This is the standardization. The second one is the conformity assessment, which is we are seeking and looking who is implementing the standards. We have to think about who is implementing the standards. So we are looking about conformity assessment bodies. As example, laboratories. Otherwise, without implementing the standards will be like paper, printed paper in the shelf without benefit. So we have to think about the standards, who implementing this standard. We are looking about the conformity assessment bodies like laboratories. The lab make the analysis and test to be sure about the elements and the ingredients of these products. We are looking about inspection bodies, who is implementing the inspection to be sure about the requirements that mentioned in the standards can be implemented in the products. We are looking about certification body. So, and there is a wide range of the certification. One of them is halal certification body, management certification bodies, or personnel certification bodies. A lot of kind of certification bodies. But for those conformity assessment bodies, who are the body who is giving us the trust for those lab or inspection body or certification body? Of course, it's the accreditation. And also there is a standard for the accreditation bodies. So me and Mr. Nazari, as accreditation body, we have our own standards. So this is the aim and this is the benefit of the standardization in general. Of course, we have to mention about another element of the quality, which is very important and not less than the others, the metrology. Even in Islam, it's mentioned, وَزِنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ, means even the metrology, the scales, we have to not cheat the others. We have to know 100% about this scale is correct. And this is one of the main aims in the Islam also, not cheating the others. This is one very important element, the metrology. Back to our experience in the GCC member states. Actually, GSO, which is the GCC standardization bodies, created the standards for what we call the halal scheme. As Mr. From the CIMIC mentioned, the standardization bodies create standards, which is acceptable by the all the related bodies or the stakeholders. So how we can write the standards. Of course, we have to create, we have to bring the experts from around interested bodies. Then we'll write the draft of the standards. We will circulate and we will send this standard to the again and again to them to review their needs and reflect their need to these standards. After that, we publish this standard as I mentioned before, even it's national standards for the country or regional standards for regional organization like the GSO standards, and or could be the international standards. GSO created this scheme, which we called it, as I mentioned, the GSO scheme for the halal, and alhamdulillah, it became. Of course, we take some expertise from who came before us, like Malaysia, like Turkey, like the other Muslims. And also we base our standards on the international practice. I mean the ISO standards. As example, we have the standards for the certification body. Mainly it's based on the, the halal certification body. Mainly it's based on the ISO IEC 1765, which is related to the certification of the product. So it's the international practice, but we reflect some needs, some requirements which is come from the Islam region. Islam requirements to this standard to be Islamic standards. Of course, we consider all the madhabs, we consider all the needs of the around the Muslims. So we rely on our standards for in the fatwa according to Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islami or Islam Fiqh Academy. That we can say our standard can be acceptable from all the Muslims around the world. Back to the implementation of the standards. Alhamdulillah, for implementing the standards, we have a certification body, halal certification body around the world, which is accredited. One of the requirements shall be accredited according to the international practice again, with some additional requirements. So GCC Accreditation Center, JAC, is accrediting the certification body, halal certification body around the world, which is listed and which is listed in the countries individually. And after that, we can accept this practice or this halal certificate to be acceptable in the GCC member states. This is a brief in our experience in the GSO and the GCC member states. Thank you very much.
Спасибо, господин Альмизан.
Thank you, Mr. Mizani. It's quite a significant. Thank you, Mr. Nizami. It's quite significant experience because Islamic world is very is vast, and for us it is important to understand the information about different standards in different countries. And according to that, according to your experience, we can add a certain amount of standards for tourists who come to us from different countries. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm giving the floor to Ivanov Sergei Evgenievich, the main responsible person. He's the chief of the State Committee on Tourism in Tatarstan Republic. Thank you for giving me the floor. Today we are discussing very important topic, how to make the standards for tourists who come to us from Islamic countries. First of all, we should not forget that every tourist is attracted by some interesting and attractive things. If something is attractive for them here, then they will come. So our task is to create something interesting and interactive using maybe innovative technologies. Of course, Tatarstan is a unique place because it is respected and it respects Islamic religion and Orthodox religion, and it has a special unique feature that both religions exist in harmony here in this republic. So for us, the implementations of standards of halal, it is first of all understanding of people's traditions and respect and honor to the rules that people follow. Fortunately, we have conducted many events oriented to Islamic words, and this hospitality area in our country is adjusted to this kind of tourists. And in the same way, we are quite flexible in this. It's not that it is a must that the hotel should be Islamic. We can combine both standards. We both can implement halal standard. For example, if a guest asks us, we can take out the alcohol from the room, and we can prepare the room in a certain way according to the standards, and we can remove the pork from the menu. And actually, I'm not surprised if someday pork will just disappear from our hotels, because pork is not much demanded by our customers. So for Tatarstan, it's not a problem to remove pork. So what we witness here? We witness that demand for halal services is existing. Many guests require halal standards. It's not only because it's not only about products. It is also about the colleagues who cooperate with them, and it is important how they dress, how they look like. Those girls and women whom you see here, they look so colorfully and beautifully because of these Muslim clothes. But for us, it's just an ordinary thing. So what I want to show you in my presentation, we have very many beautiful places where one can perform namaz. We have many mosques here, and a Muslim tourist can perform his services, religious services, in the room. Not each hotel is equipped with a separate room for prayers, and it means that they will pay extra money for the rent, so the price for the hotel will increase. So it is questionable whether a separate room is needed. So this is the picture of a big event of the anniversary of the Islam acceptance. It will happen in Great Bulgar. And what are the issues where we encounter difficulties? It's not only a hospitality area. It is, I think the big resource is in medicine. Medicine is an international area, and it's quite an issue to implement these standards into medicine, because it is sometimes impedes the traditions of religion. And of course, it is the most proper to get medical services on the basis of Islam traditions. And next area of difficulty is beauty industry. Beauty industry is the most growing market in the world. And if we succeed to implement halal standards into spa industry, that would be excellent. You see, this is an example of a beauty salon, halal, and it will be a great success in those countries where Islam is a leading religion. So one of our most important tasks is to provide, following our traditions in transport hubs, like airports, railway stations, where they inspect the passengers due to the safety reasons. But this is quite a big area of difficulties and impediments. In many countries, this procedure is developed, and you see how easy it happens. This is an example of our halal products. So you see these are standard halal standard certification here. There is no problems with the products, with interpreters, with guides. And it is very important not only the leaders to understand, but also for the citizens to understand these traditions. Russia is the country which absorbs cultures and religions like Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. Russia can become a very good example of harmonious combination of both standards of halal and global standards of services towards of services provided to customers. So I'm inviting you to Kazan city in Tatarstan to visit our beautiful places. Thank you so much. It was quite bright. My first visits to Kazan 15 years ago, it was a little cloudy, but then I saw this bright flower. Thank you again for your support in restaurants, because we always want to eat, sometimes several times a day. Thank you. So our next speaker is the founder of Digital Service, founder of Halal Guide Service. Dear colleagues, I want to thank Sergei Evgenievich for this excellent presentation adjusted to the practical implementation of tourism development. And I also want to thank Maxim Alexandrovich and other leaders because I want I myself was one of the leaders and participants of this forum and exhibition 15 years ago, and now I see the success of development of tourism, and I see that huge efforts have been done. Our project is called Halal Guide. It's 13 years old. And when even the word halal didn't exist, then when we were in Moscow, we ate only one chicken called duks, and only 4 mosques existed in Moscow. Therefore, in 2011, we created this idea to, we've got this idea to create this community. community of halal restaurants and cafe. We have 150 countries who are the members of this community. And these are the countries where we present mostly. This is Russia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, UK, and so on. And this is our scheme.
In 2019, on the decree of the Rais of the Republic of Tatarstan, Mr. Minikhanov, we started creating the roadmap Halal as a lifestyle. And this roadmap consisted of 60 items and explaining how the halal industry and halal life shall evolve in the Republic of Tatarstan. And today I observe a development, how some hospitals and hotels meeting halal requirements appear, and how these products are getting recognition in other countries of the world. And so what I was speaking about 5 or 10 years ago, it was on the papers there. Today it is accessible and available to users. Today we are a halal ecosystem where a user can not only find a restaurant to get food, but also to order delivery and get more information about products that are halal certified. Today we found out that unfortunately there are some products containing carmines, choke, that are prohibited. Unfortunately, people are not aware of it. I composed a plan of development for any region in terms of the development for the population. And the first thing in such a plan will be food. What a person eats, this is the beginning of the whole halal concept, where he reads namaz. And the last item would be Islamic finances. Tourism would be in the middle. I always use Tatarstan as an example, since the Republic has reached the top, especially given that it is such a so-called non-Muslim country, but Islamic finances and other Islamic realities deeply rooted here. And it is not the first year of our work, and the results are obvious. We also have charity funds. We collect money, and as of today, we have created a platform where millions of Muslims know how to spend money. And it was fairly mentioned that user trust is crucial. We do it through halal certificates. We show all the information, for example, the validity date of the certificate and which certification center issued it. Today, we are focusing on unifying the information from the whole world. You know that today there are many halal centers in Russia. We unite all the information. And concerning the basis, we started speaking about certification, but security is essential. Today, a Muslim can simply stay in a regular hotel, buy food there. For example, today I forgot to order halal food in advance, but I found a way out. I ordered cereal and drank water, and nothing happened. Why a Muslim selects a halal hotel? If the hotel meets the halal requirements, for example, separate swimming pools for men and women, and if such a hotel has simply a prayer rug, it will be more than enough. If there are prayer rooms all around the city and halal restaurants all around the city, it will be okay because tourists come to a city not to stay in the hotel only. They would like to go out, walk, maybe near the Red Square in Moscow. There is a prayer room, which is a must for a Muslim. And in this case, a Muslim can stay in a hotel even without a halal certificate. Therefore, we must develop the infrastructure in a broader sense. Another incentives for tourists are the events that are the reasons for people to travel. For example, the Kazan Forum. Muslims from all around the world came here and they are checking in hotels, including halal certified hotels. They visit some mosques and halal restaurants. So they have convenient conditions for travel. Umrah and Hajj are an absolutely separate topic. It is also developing, and we have an application with a full set of options where a traveler can go. Today, we are receiving from Saudi Arabia the possibility for our users to obtain a visa via our application. Today, we are signing a contract with Halal Booking company, which is a leader today among halal hotel aggregators. They provide the comprehensive information like separate female hotels and hotels for people with children, and etc. We provide our multi-million audience with the possibility to select from these hotels using only one application. I will speak about halal tours. Indeed, we offer halal packages like Moscow plus Kazan, for example. We have guides and escort personnel who can speak about the history of Islam in this region, which is of interest to guests who are Muslim believers. In Kazakhstan, we have launched a project for prayer rooms along the road. We have contracts with petrol filling stations who provide us the areas for such rooms. Some time ago, when skiing in a ski resort, I used a prayer room there to make namaz. This is important for a Muslim traveler, and namaz is the most crucial one. Food is not number one. A Muslim can eat fruits, etc. Thanks a lot. Thank you. You have done a huge work. We understand that to combine all this and provide a user with the possibility to make the route by themselves and make this travel pleasant is a really huge work. Let me give the floor to Nizar El Khaldour, Fambras Halal International Relations Director. The organization is 40-year-old. This is a huge experience, which is of importance to us. Please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you very much for all participants and for this participation. It's very important here, such matters to discuss, especially halal tourism, because during years We discuss halal, only issues like slaughtering, beef, chicken, and as we see now, halal industry is being for a big turn around let us say $8 billion, for example, in Brazil. And today we will talk some informations about tourism. Sorry. The history of halal in Brazil, we started halal in 1970 as Brazil was one of the biggest and the first of chicken exporters. After that, we start to focus in beef. In the 70s, we exported around 650 tons of chicken. It was destined to GCC countries. Let us talk a little about the halal protein market that is considered one of the first positions export to Arab countries, that we were one of the leaders in 2020. 1.9 million tons of chickens were exported to Kuwait after Saudi Arabia. Let us talk about some of the recognitions that we have, as Engineer Mut'ab talked some information about the standards. Mr. Ihsan and our brothers explained some information of standards. And also our brother Nizran from Malaysia. We need an important thing, a unique standard, especially if we are talking about tourism. So let us have a unique standard of tourism. Let us have a unique accreditation body. This is a point that we can't go too much for. We must put this point and take it in consideration. Mr. Ihsan last year, he had some discussions about IFHAB, creation of IFHAB. So let us effect this IFHAB, Mr. Brother Ihsan, and have a unique standard of tourism, for example. Some of the accreditation bodies, JAC, BPG, HAC, JAKIM, Ministry of Industry, and others. A lot of accreditation bodies. I won't enter in details. I will pull this haram and mashbuh, but we can't forget one of the points that our brother Ihsan mentioned about najis. It's not only to have a halal tourism, but we must take in consideration this very important point, najis. Halal tourism, the type of tourism that represent activities consist with Islamic participants in terms of behavior, dress, contact, and diet. So halal tourism encompasses different sectors that are related to each other. Muslim friendly is the term used to refer to the service for the facility or destination that has considered some, but not all religious needs for the halal travelers. Halal friendly, as a nice market, halal friendly tourism includes hotels, transport, including airlines, restaurants, and tour packages, and halal finances. Let us talk about the importance of the halal tourism, where the destination of our trip, the hospitality, food and our beverages, places of prayer and services throughout the trip being halal are one of the major concerns of Muslims. Alcohol-free accommodations, hotels, without in-house nightlife, considered dress code, availability of on-site prayer facilities, segregated gym, and Islamic entertainment programs. Economic, social, culture, and religious objectives which are summarized. Point number one, reveal of Islamic culture and the spread of Islamic values. The economic benefit to Islamic and non-Islamic societies. Breaking stereotypes about Muslim and spreading knowledge about the Islamic values. Other culture and lifestyles. The scope of halal tourism is not designed exclusively for Muslims. It also covers non-Muslim. Halal certification process for tourism. We did the classification of halal tourism in 3 categories. Halal tourism advanced scale service, it's 100% halal, category 1A. Category B, halal tourism medium scale service, it's a halal friendly. Category C, halal tourism basic scale service, it's a Muslim friendly considered. Some of the points that Mr. Ahsan already explained. For category C, we have 6 points that we shall have in halal tourism. Food option upon request, the removal of alcohol from the minibar or the rooms, marketable Qibla direction, direction of the local mosques, the prayer mats and schedule upon request, and of course the trained staff. Category B, halal food, kitchen, list of local halal restaurants and prayer mats, HTC principle, and washroom. These shall have list of the local halal restaurants and the musalla, its recommended points. Category A, which we considered 100% halal, halal chicken, kitchen, restaurant, halal food, and washroom with means for water cleansing, it shall have. Other points like alcoholic beverage in hotel, restaurant, gelatines, sausage, bacon, pork, non-halal products shall not have. Islamic TV channels, it's recommended. I will pull some of the points that includes category A also. Mr. Ahsan, he mentioned some of these points. We will focus on 100% halal restaurants. It's one of the points that we are working very hard in Brazil, in South America, for having this category. The halal guarantee system, the hotel, restaurant, or the company that offer halal service must elaborate a document which is called halal guarantee system. Objective, we must ensure that safety, quality, and sustainability of halal service. And this kind of document must map and control all risk to halal considering the effort services. Service management, we have 3 points. Ensuring compliance, halal objective and policy, and necessary resources of halal that are available. I know time is run out. I will try to just explain the most important points. The halal policy, there must be elaborating a policy that attests the company's commitment to halal, set a goal for the halal service, document and disclose to all employees. The third point, the personal employee, a person that will be in charge or the team must decide for halal management. All employees must have a training and aware of the policy, of course, staff clothing or behavior. Communication update list of halal services offered is available. Customer feedback system. The last point that I will explain, we recently in Brazil, we did an MOU with the Sheraton Group in Brazil. As we are non-Muslim countries, 220 million total population in Brazil, we have almost 1% Muslim, but we did a great job in halal tourism. Although tourism is not very high in South America, because some of considered about the securities and others, but we are doing a great job. Numbers started to increase. Sheraton Hotel, they started to put all halal procedures for Muslims and halal tourism. Some of the points that we take in consideration, and it's already applied in Sheraton Hotel, Brazil. Thank you very much, and sorry for the delay.
Спасибо, господин Гандура. Это вот тоже.
Thank you, Mr. Gandura. What you have told is very important. It's very important for us to hear your huge experience in different countries, because we can learn from your examples, not just running fast towards this standards implementation. We should learn your expertise, your difficulties, and implement your experience in practice and continue. Thank you for your presentation. And in the end, I want to give the floor to our next speaker, Elena Veselova. She's the director of the hotel of Moscow, which has been closed now. Thank you, Elena, for continuing working after the hotel is closed. Thank you for giving me the floor. We discussed this topic with our colleagues. I'm Elena Veselova. I'm Development Director in Moscow. I thank the Federal Service on Accreditation and for this wonderful session particularly. I want to share our experience. Today, colleagues told a lot about certification, and our hotel didn't have it yet. However, we need to start discussing it because hotels in general can provide halal services. And in Moscow, in the Carlton Hotel, we succeeded to provide halal standards. As you know, our hotel is situated at Tverskaya, near the Red Square. Just 1 minute. Previously, it was called Ritz Carlton, and now it is called Carlton Moscow. You know, the main thing is our difference from other hotels is the location of the hotel. And many of you who visited our hotel, you know that we have a restaurant on the 12th floor. with the view to the Red Square. This is our main sightseeing, for the sake of which many tourists visit Moscow. Also, I want to say that we've done a complete renovation of the hotel. Now the hotel is the newest premium class, luxury class hotel in Moscow. It's also a very important feature for our guests. We changed everything. We changed all the common areas, and everything is renovated. The hotel is created in Russian avant-garde style. It will be relevant for the next 10 years. It is modern, but it is international, but preserves our Russian historical heritage. This is the location of the hotel. All the central sightseeings are close to it. It is easy to reach the hotel, what was told by our colleagues. Yes, we can see many sites in Moscow and in Kazan. And Moscow, it is an interesting place for performing touristic travels and sites, not only for business. And this is the example what we provide for our guests, Islam guests. Actually, we have many of such guests because we work closely with Arabian countries such as Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait. And the number of these guests increases. And we try to provide them the maximum of our attention and care. Of course, we have all the certificates for meat. It is chicken, beef, and lamb meat. Here you see so-called Arabian set. Our guests who come from Arabian countries, they get this little compliment in form of dates. And it's actually very pleasant, just a small tradition, however, very pleasant, so we try to follow it as well. And we can provide Quran and the prayer mat and other attributes and all the necessary accessories which are needed by the guest. We can provide it on the request. And in our lobby bar and in our room dining services in the rooms, we provide them Arabian menu, and the guests can choose whatever they want from their local kitchen. And when guests visited us during the Ramadan months, all the compliments we provided them later so that they could follow their rules. In addition, in addition to this Arabic selection, Arabic menu, today we discussed a lot about digital. When the guest visits the hotel, the guest may not communicate with the staff. The guest can go straight into the room, and this application is in Arabian language. Of course, we have not many experts with Arabian language, but there are. So this application is very convenient. Another thing I want to say is our lobby bar, especially Arabian guests. Recently, we bought a coffee machine. We make Arabian coffee with cardamom, and they love Arabian coffee. Today, we heard about the products which cannot be used in a halal kitchen. We cook all our desserts without gelatin and without pork fat. So this is our tradition and a special feature. We participate in such events quite often. A few weeks ago, I was in Dubai, and we are very much interested in guests in general from Arabian world and from Muslim countries. So we will be very glad to see you as our guests. So I want to show you a short video about our renovated hotel, and we have guests from many different countries, so please watch it.
Дорогие друзья, да, ролик у нас.
So, dear friends, this video was quite general, but if you request, we can send more in details. We will be very happy if you and your guests visit our hotel. We will be very happy. Thank you, Elena. Yes, I understand that we live in a country where half of the population is Muslim. However, there are values that we should accept and learn from. When I was traveling in Dagestan with my colleagues, I like this phrase that the purity in the restaurant is already half of religion. I want to thank Nazari Skripnik, Maxim Protasov for the organization. I want to thank you all who came here to Kazan to share your wonderful experience with us. And I hope that every year we will improve. And also, I was also asked to announce that today at 5:30 from here, the buses will start to the hockey match amongst Islam fans. The match will be free for the participants. Thank you again, and peace to your home.